The Terran deep space explorer ship Prometheus cruised through the inky void, its hull shimmering under the distant starlight. Within its walls, a diverse crew of humans worked tirelessly to chart an uncharted sector of space, their eyes bright with determination and the thrill of discovery. Captain Noah Brennan stood on the bridge, his gaze fixed on the viewscreen displaying endless stars. His first officer, Commander Thalia Vance, approached with a datapad. "Captain, long-range sensors have detected an anomaly," she reported, her brow furrowed. "It appears to be a ship, but the energy signatures are erratic." Noah turned, curiosity piqued. "Set a course to intercept. Looks like our charting mission just got more interesting." As Prometheus approached the coordinates, the viewscreen filled with the image of a crippled alien vessel drifting listlessly. Its sleek silver hull was marred by scorch marks and gaping holes, clear signs of a devastating attack. "Scan for life signs," Noah ordered, a sense of unease settling in his gut. Thalia shook her head, her expression grim. "None detected, Captain. But there are breathable atmosphere pockets scattered throughout the ship." Noah squared his shoulders. "Assemble an away team. We need to investigate and gather any data we can. If there's a hostile force out here, Earth needs to be warned." In the armory, the away team suited up in sleek, form-fitting EVA gear. Dr. Lena Son, the ship's xenobiologist, checked her medical kit with deft fingers. Chief Engineer Kai Nakamura hefted a satchel of scanning equipment and diagnostic tools. Security officers Zora Mikhailov and Ryan Syed double-checked their stun batons and particle rifles. The team materialized on the alien ship's dark, debris-strewn corridor. Emergency lighting flickered, casting eerie shadows. They moved cautiously, their helmet lights cutting through the gloom. "Fan out and scan for any signs of the crew or ship's logs," Noah instructed. "Stay sharp. Whatever attacked this vessel might still be around." As they delved deeper, the scale of destruction became clearer. Bulkheads were warped and melted by intense energy blasts. The bodies of the alien crew, strangely insectoid with iridescent exoskeletons, lay still and lifeless. Kai let out a low whistle as he scanned a ruptured conduit. "I've never seen weapons damage like this. We're way out of our league here, Captain." Suddenly, Lena's scanner pinged. "I've got a faint life sign." She rushed forward, the team close on her heels. They entered what appeared to be a medbay, its equipment smashed and scattered. In the far corner, a single stasis pod pulsed with a weak, flickering light. Lena wiped the condensation from the pod's viewport and gasped. Inside lay a tiny, fragile form, an alien infant, its gossamer wings fluttering weakly. "It's a baby?" she breathed, her eyes wide with wonder and concern. "And it's barely holding on." Zara stepped forward, her hand on her rifle. "Captain, protocol dictates we leave it. We have no idea what it is or what it needs. It's too risky." But Lena shook her head vehemently. "We can't just abandon a helpless child. What if it was one of ours?" Noah met Lena's imploring gaze, conflict warring in his eyes. The infant's life hung in the balance, its fate resting on his decision. "We're not leaving it behind," he declared, his voice resolute. "Dr. Son, do what you can to stabilize its condition. We're bringing it back to the Prometheus." As Lena carefully lifted the alien child from the pod, cradling it close, she couldn't shake the feeling that this tiny being would change the course of their mission, and perhaps the future of humanity itself. With the infant secure in a containment unit, the away team hastened back to the Prometheus. In the medbay, Lena and her medical staff worked frantically to keep the child stable, their knowledge of alien physiology pushed to the limits. Captain Brennan paced the bridge, awaiting updates. The alien vessel's destruction and the miraculous survival of the infant weighed heavily on his mind. Just as Kai managed to recover fragments of the alien ship's log, proximity alarms blared. A massive, forbidding warship dropped out of warp, its hull bristling with weapons. "They're hailing us, Captain," Thalia reported, her voice tight with tension. The view screen flickered to life, revealing a hulking reptilian alien in ornate armor. Its eyes gleamed with malice as it hissed, "Surrender the abomination you have stolen, or be annihilated." Noah stepped forward, his jaw set in defiance. "We've rescued an innocent child from the wreckage of its home. We will not hand it over to be slaughtered." The alien commander bared its fangs. "Then you will die alongside it, hairless ape." As the transmission cut out, Noah turned to his crew, his eyes alight with determination. "Battle stations. Helm, calculate an escape vector. We're getting that child to safety, no matter the cost." The Prometheus crew scrambled to action, their training and instincts taking over. They faced impossible odds, but they would not falter. They were human, resilient, clever, and fiercely protective of the innocent. And in the medbay, Lena held the tiny alien close, whispering a promise. "We'll keep you safe, little one. No matter what happens, you'll always have a home with us." The ship shuddered as the first volley of enemy fire impacted its shields. The battle for the child's life, and the future of two species, had begun. The Prometheus shuddered under the onslaught of the alien warship's relentless attacks. On the bridge, Captain Noah Brennan gripped the armrests of his chair, his knuckles white. "Divert all auxiliary power to shields," he barked. "Helm, evasive maneuvers. Pattern Delta 5. The ship pulled a sharp turn as another volley of energy blasts hammered its defenses. Damage reports flooded in from all decks. Breaches, fires, failing systems. In the medbay turn nursery, Dr. Lena Son struggled to keep her balance as the ship rocked violently. The alien infant wailed within its modified incubation chamber, its cries piercing through the chaos. Lena placed a hand on the chamber, her touch gentle and reassuring. "Sheh, it's okay. I've got you." She turned to her medical team. Determination etched on her face. "We need to stabilize its vitals. The stasis pod kept it alive, but its body is still in shock." Ensign Mira Patel, the junior xenobiologist, frantically scanned the readouts. "Its biochemistry is unlike anything in our databases. We're flying blind here, Doc." Lena nodded grimly. They were in uncharted territory, both figuratively and literally. But she refused to give up on the fragile life in her care. "We'll start with the basics," she decided. "Warm the incubation chamber to match its core temperature. Adjust the atmosphere mix to mimic its pod. And run a full spectrum analysis on a tissue sample. We need to formulate a nutrient solution." As the medical team set to work, Lena gazed at the infant, a fierce protectiveness welling up within her. "You're a fighter, aren't you, little one? We'll figure this out together." On the bridge, Noah watched the tactical display with growing dread. The alien ship outclassed them in every way: size, speed, firepower. Commander Thalia Vance, her face grim, reported, "Shields down to 30%, Captain. We can't take much more of this." Noah clenched his jaw. They needed a plan, and fast. He opened a comm channel to engineering. "Kai, please tell me you've got something." Chief Engineer Kai Nakamura's voice crackled over the line, strained but determined. "I'm working on it, Captain. That alien ship's weapons are off the charts. Our shields weren't designed for this." Suddenly, Kai's voice turned thoughtful. "But maybe. The child's stasis pod. It survived the attack on its ship. If I can analyze its shielding technology." Noah's eyes widened, a spark of hope igniting. "Do it. Divert whatever resources you need." As the bridge crew fought to keep the ship intact, Kai and his engineering team pored over the remnants of the stasis pod. They worked feverishly, reverse engineering the advanced technology. In the medbay, Lena and her team made progress in fits and starts. They managed to stabilize the child's vital signs, but it remained weak and listless. Mira looked up from her analysis, her eyes wide. "Dr. Son, you need to see this. The child's cells. They're not just absorbing nutrients. They're absorbing information." Lena frowned, intrigued. She studied the redouts, realization dawning. Its species, they're not just biologically advanced. They're intellectually advanced. This child, it's learning from us, adapting. She turned to the incubation chamber, wonder and responsibility warring within her. If they could keep the child alive, nurture it, the potential was staggering. On the bridge, Thalia called out, "Captain, the alien ship is hailing us again." Noah straightened, steeling himself. On screen, the reptilian commander appeared, its eyes glinting with cruel satisfaction. "Your time is up, humans. Surrender the abomination, or face oblivion." Noah met its gaze unflinchingly. "We will never abandon an innocent life. If you want the child, you'll have to come through us." The alien hissed, its claws flexing. "So be it." As the transmission cut off, Noah turned to his crew, his voice ringing with conviction. "We are the Terran Deep Space Explorer ship Prometheus. We are human. We do not turn our backs on those in need, no matter the odds. And we will fight to our last breath to protect the innocent." A chorus of agreement rose from the bridge crew, their resolve strengthened by their captain's words. In engineering, Kai's voice crackled over the comm. Triumph and urgency intermingled. "Captain, we've got it. The stasis pod's shielding. It's not just defensive, it's adaptive, if we can integrate it with our own shields." Noah grinned fiercely. "Do it, Kai. Give us a fighting chance." As the engineering team raced to implement the alien shielding, Lena watched over the child, hope burning bright within her. They had come so far, learned so much. They couldn't fail now. The Prometheus stood against the looming alien warship, battered but unbowed. Its crew, diverse, determined, and united, ready to face whatever came next. For they were human, and they would never surrender. In the heart of the Prometheus engineering deck, Chief Engineer Kai Nakamura wiped the sweat from his brow as he and his team worked furiously to integrate the alien shielding technology into the ship's defenses. The very survival of the crew and the precious child under their protection depended on their success. Kai's fingers flew over the console, his eyes darting between readouts and schematics. The stasis pod's adaptive shielding was unlike anything he had ever encountered. Elegant, complex, and far beyond human understanding. But he refused to let that stop him. "Reroute power from the auxiliary generators," Kai instructed, his voice taut with focus. "We need to create a feedback loop between the shield emitters and the alien tech." His team moved with practiced efficiency, their hands ablur as they rewired circuits and recalibrated systems. They were the best of the best, hand-picked for this mission, and they would not fail. On the bridge, Captain Noah Brennan watched the view screen with a mixture of trepidation and determination. The alien warship loomed before them, its weapons poised to strike. "Kai, what's your status?" Noah demanded, his grip tight on the armrests of his chair. Kai's voice crackled over the comm, strained but resolute. "Almost there, Captain. Just a few more minutes." Noah nodded, his jaw set. "Make them count. We'll buy you as much time as we can." He turned to his tactical officer, Lieutenant Commander Ryan Syed. "Target their weapon systems. Aim for the power couplings. We need to slow them down." Ryan's fingers danced across the controls, his eyes narrowed in concentration. A volley of phaser fire erupted from the Prometheus, striking the alien ship with precision. The warship's shields flickered, absorbing the blasts, but the momentary disruption was enough. Kai's voice rang out over the comm. Triumph and relief intermingled. Alien shielding integrated, bringing it online now. A shimmering field enveloped the Prometheus, pulsing with an ethereal glow. The ship shuddered as the alien weapons fire impacted the newly fortified shields, but they held strong. Noah let out a breath he hadn't realized he'd been holding. "Good work, Kai. Now let's get the hell out of here. Helm, plot a course back to Earth. Maximum warp." As the Prometheus surged forward, the stars blurring into streaks of light, Noah allowed himself a moment of relief. They had bought themselves a reprieve, but he knew the battle was far from over. In the medbay, Dr. Lena Son watched over the alien child with a mixture of wonder and concern. The infant had grown remarkably in the short time since its rescue, its fragile form now resembling a small toddler. Lena marveled at the child's rapid development. Her scientific curiosity piqued. She had never encountered a species with such accelerated growth and learning capabilities. It was as if the child was absorbing knowledge and adapting at an exponential rate. She reached out, gently stroking the child's iridescent wings. "You're a marvel, little one. A miracle." The child cooed, its large, luminous eyes fixating on Lena's face. In that moment, a bond formed between them, a connection that transcended species and language. Lena made a silent vow, her heart swelling with protectiveness and determination. She would do whatever it took to keep this child safe, to give it a future. Over the weeks that followed, as the Prometheus charted a course back to Earth, the child continued to grow and develop at an astonishing rate. Lena and her team worked tirelessly to understand its biology and provide for its needs, their efforts driven by a deep-seated desire to nurture and protect. The child, now resembling a young adolescent, began to communicate through a series of chirps and trills, its intelligence and curiosity evident in every interaction. Lena found herself spending every spare moment with the child, teaching it about human culture, language, and values. She marveled at the child's ability to absorb and understand complex concepts, its mind expanding at a breathtaking pace. It was as if the child was not just learning, but evolving before their very eyes. Captain Brennan watched the bond between Lena and the child grow, a sense of pride and responsibility settling on his shoulders. This child, this miracle, had become a part of their crew, a symbol of hope and unity in the face of adversity. But even as they marveled at the child's progress, a sense of unease lingered. The hostile aliens who had sought to destroy the child's ship had not given up their pursuit. No one knew it was only a matter of time before they caught up to the Prometheus. And so, as the ship hurtled through the void of space, its crew worked tirelessly to prepare for the inevitable confrontation. They fortified their defenses, honed their skills, and stood united in their resolve to protect their own, human and alien alike. For they knew that the true test of their strength, their compassion, and their humanity was yet to come, and they would face it together as a family forged among the stars. The Prometheus hurtled through the depths of space, its crew on high alert, as they neared the outer reaches of the Sol system. They had come so far, endured so much, but the final test of their resolve loomed on the horizon. On the bridge, Captain Noah Brennan studied the long-range sensors, his brow furrowed. The alien warship was out there, he knew, lurking just beyond the range of their scanners. Waiting. Hunting. "Kai, how are our shields holding up?" Noah asked, his voice tight with tension. Chief Engineer Kai Nakamura looked up from his console, determination etched in the lines of his face. "The integrated shielding is stable, Captain. We've pushed it beyond anything we could have imagined." But he hesitated, the weight of their situation heavy in his words. "It's never been tested against the full might of their weapons." Noah nodded grimly. They were sailing into uncharted waters, facing an enemy they barely understood. But they had no choice. The child, the miraculous being they had rescued and nurtured, was depending on them. As if summoned by his thoughts, the doors to the bridge hissed open, revealing Dr. Lena Son and the child, now a lithe, ethereal figure with iridescent wings and luminous eyes. Lena approached the captain, her hand resting gently on the child's shoulder. "Captain, there's something you need to know." "Zeri, that's the name we've chosen. Zeri has been communicating with me, sharing knowledge." Noah turned, his eyebrows raised. "Communicating? How?" Lena glanced at Zari, a flicker of awe in her eyes. "Telepathically. Zeri species, they're not just intellectually advanced. They're psychic, and Zeri has been learning from us, absorbing our knowledge, our experiences." She took a deep breath, her voice trembling with a mixture of pride and trepidation. "Captain, Zeri knows about the hostile aliens, about the threat they pose. And Zeri wants to help." Noah looked at the young alien, a sense of protectiveness surging through him. This child, no, this remarkable being, had become a part of their crew, their family. The thought of putting Zeri in harm's way was almost unbearable. But as he gazed into Zeri's eyes, he saw a strength and determination that belied their youth, a wisdom that spoke of a profound understanding of the stakes they faced. Slowly, Noah knelt before Zeri, his voice soft but resolute. "Zeri, you've already been through so much. You don't have to put yourself at risk for us." Zeri trilled softly, a melodic sound that seemed to fill the bridge with a gentle warmth. And then a voice, not audible, but resonating within their minds, spoke with a clarity and conviction that left them all breathless. "You saved my life, protected me, nurtured me. You showed me the strength and compassion of your species, the depth of your love." Zeri's voice was like a symphony, each word a note woven into a tapestry of emotion. "Now, it is my turn to protect you, to stand with you, as family." Tears glistened in Lena's eyes, her hand tightening on Zeri's shoulder. Noah felt a lump form in his throat, a swell of pride and humility threatening to overwhelm him. He stood, squaring his shoulders. "Zeri, we would be honored to have you stand with us." As if in response to his words, the ship shuddered, alarms blaring to life. The view screen flickered, revealing the looming form of the alien warship, its weapons blazing with deadly intent. Noah leaped into action, his voice ringing out with authority. "Red alert! All hands to battle stations." The crew sprang into motion, a well-oiled machine honed by months of preparation and determination. Kai's fingers flew across his console, diverting power to the shields. Tactical officers targeted weak points in the enemy ship's defenses. Pilots prepared for evasive maneuvers. And at the heart of it all, Zeri stood tall and proud, Zeri's wings shimmering with an ethereal glow. Lena watched, her heart in her throat, as Zeri stepped forward, placing slender hands on the navigation console. The child's eyes fluttered close, a look of intense concentration settling over their delicate features. And then something extraordinary happened. The Prometheus shuddered, not from an impact, but from a surge of power unlike anything they had ever experienced. The alien shielding pulsed and expanded, enveloping the ship in a cocoon of shimmering energy. On the view screen, the hostile ship's weapons fire ricocheted harmlessly off the reinforced shields, the blasts dissipating into a kaleidoscope of colors. Zeri's voice echoed in their minds, a clarion call of defiance and protection. "You will not harm my family." The alien ship faltered, its weapons faltering under the onslaught of Zeri's psychic might. The Prometheus surged forward, its own weapons lancing out with pinpoint accuracy, targeting the weak points Zeri revealed to them through their mental link. The bridge crew watched in awe as the hostile ship's defenses crumbled, its hull fracturing under the relentless assault. Explosions blossomed across its surface, a cascade of destruction that lit up the void of space. And then, with a final, silent implosion, the alien warship shattered, its remains scattering into the darkness. A cheer erupted on the bridge, the crew's elation and relief palpable. They had done it. Against all odds, they had emerged victorious. But even as they celebrated, Noah's eyes were drawn to Zeri, the young alien who had risked everything to protect them. Zeri stood, swaying slightly, exhaustion evident in the droop of their wings. Lena rushed forward, catching Zeri in a gentle embrace. "You did it, Zeri. You saved us all." Zeri trilled softly, a weary smile on their face. "No, Lena. We did it, together, as a family." Noah felt a swell of emotion, a mixture of pride, gratitude, and love that threatened to overwhelm him. This child, this miraculous being, had shown them the true power of unity, of compassion, of the unbreakable bonds they had forged among the stars. And as the Prometheus set a course for Earth, its crew battered but unbroken, no one knew that their journey was far from over. For they had a new mission now, to share the story of Zari, to show the galaxy what could be achieved when humans and aliens stood together. A story of hope, of resilience, and of the enduring strength of the human spirit. A story that would echo across the stars, inspiring generations to come. As the Prometheus entered Earth's orbit, its hull still bearing the scars of battle, a sense of triumph and trepidation hung in the air. They had achieved the impossible, defeating a foe that had once seemed invincible. But now, as they prepared to disembark, a new challenge loomed before them. Captain Noah Brennan stood before the airlock, his crew assembled behind him. Zari, now a tall, ethereal figure, stood at his side, their hand clasped gently in Dr. Lena San's. Noah took a deep breath, his voice ringing out with a mixture of pride and solemnity. "We've been through hell and back. We've faced challenges we never could have imagined. And we've emerged stronger, united by a bond that transcends species and worlds." He turned to Zari, a smile softening his features. "Zari, you've shown us the true meaning of courage, of compassion, of family. You've given us hope for a future where humans and aliens can stand together, not as adversaries, but as allies, as friends." Zari trilled softly, their luminous eyes glistening with emotion. "You have given me so much more, Noah. You have shown me the strength and beauty of the human spirit, the power of love, of sacrifice. You have made me a part of your family, your world. And for that, I will be forever grateful." Lena squeezed Zari's hand, her voice thick with emotion. "You will always have a home with us, Zari. No matter what happens, no matter what challenges we face, we will face them together." The crew murmured their assent, their faces alight with a fierce determination. They had forged an unbreakable bond, a family that transcended blood and species. As the airlock hissed open, revealing a sea of faces, reporters, dignitaries, and awestruck citizens, Noah squared his shoulders. He knew that the road ahead would not be easy. There would be those who feared Zari, who saw the child's power as a threat. There would be those who sought to exploit Zari, to use the child's abilities for their own gain. But he also knew that they would face these challenges together as a family. And with Zari at their side, they had nothing to fear. They stepped out into the blinding light of Earth's sun, Zari's wings shimmering with an ethereal glow. A hush fell over the crowd, a collective gasp of wonder and trepidation. And then Zari spoke, their voice resonating through the minds of all present. "People of Earth, I come to you not as a conqueror, but as a friend. As a child who has found a home, a family, among your kind." The child's words were met with a moment of stunned silence, then a ripple of murmurs, of whispers. "I have seen the strength and compassion of humanity, the unbreakable bonds of love and loyalty that bind you together. And I have learned that it is these bonds, these connections, that truly matter, that give us the strength to face any challenge, to overcome any obstacle." Zari's gaze swept over the crowd, a gentle smile on their face. "I ask not for fear, but for understanding, for acceptance, for the chance to build a future together, humans and aliens alike, a future where we celebrate our differences, where we learn from each other, and where we stand united against any threat that may come our way." As Zari's words faded, a hush fell over the crowd, and then, slowly, a single clap rang out, then another, and another, until the air was filled with the thunderous applause of a world united, a world forever changed by the courage and compassion of a single, remarkable child. In the days and weeks that followed, Zari became a symbol of hope, of unity, a beacon of light in a galaxy too often shrouded in darkness. And though there were those who feared the child, who sought to sow discord and doubt, they were drowned out by the voices of the many, the voices of those who had been touched by Zari's story, by the unwavering bond between the child and the crew of the Prometheus. And as the story of Zari and the Prometheus spread, As it echoed across the stars, it inspired others, humans and aliens alike, all touched by the power of compassion, of understanding, all united in the belief that, together, they could face any challenge, overcome any obstacle, for they had seen the true strength of the human spirit, the unbreakable bonds of love and family. And they knew that, with Zuri at their side, there was nothing they could not achieve. Years passed, and Zuri grew into a wise and powerful leader, a bridge between worlds. And though the child never forgot their roots, never forgot the family that had saved them, Zuri knew that their true calling was to the stars. To explore, to discover, to build a future where humans and aliens could stand together, not as rivals, but as friends, as family. And so, with a heavy heart but an unshakable resolve, Zuri bid farewell to the crew of the Prometheus. To Noah, to Lena, to Kai, to the family that had given them everything. "I will never forget you," Zuri whispered, their luminous eyes glistening with tears. "You will always be a part of me, no matter how far I may roam." Lena pulled Zuri into a tight embrace, her own tears flowing freely. "And you will always have a home with us, Zuri. Always." As Zuri's ship lifted off, the crew of the Prometheus stood together, their hands linked, their hearts full. They had faced the impossible, had forged a bond that could never be broken. And though they knew that the road ahead would not be easy, they also knew that they would face it together. As family, as the protectors and allies of a remarkable child who had changed their lives forever. And as Zuri's ship disappeared into the stars, a trail of shimmering light in its wake, they knew that their story, the story of the human and the alien child, would live on. A story of hope, of compassion, of the unbreakable strength of the human spirit. A story that would echo through the ages, inspiring generations yet to come. A story of a love that could cross any divide, and a family that could weather any storm. The story of Zuri and the Prometheus.